So, how can the art of war help you with understanding your finance, your budget, what's going on in the world? Art of War says every battle is won before it's ever fought. Right? How do you do that? With foreknowledge. Where does foreknowledge come from? You can't get it from analysis or calculation or talking to ghosts and spirits. You get it from people who know the condition of the enemy. Who is your enemy in finance, right? In the market right now, right? How about the repo market? Does that affect you? The discount window, because if you don't know what that is, then you're not scanning the environment enough, which will be reconnaissance, mastering the art of war, right? If you know yourself and you know others, victory is not in danger. Well, others in this case would be the financial market, and at least having some basic common knowledge about that, right? So what is the repo market, the discount window? We got all these pieces moving behind the scenes, right? You got these banks moving all your money in the bank, and everybody else, all of us hard workers, all they do is trade money back and forth and make money off of it. They give us 3-4% and charge us fees, and they take it and flip it and make 50-60%. But anyway, at nighttime they move billions of dollars back and forth. They borrow from each other. They got to have so much money on the books, because the feds will shut them down. So if they're short, they'll borrow from another bank. Normally that interest rate is only like 1.75, close to 2%. But recently, because they know stuff that we don't know, like the market is falling apart, and it's not, a big boom market like everybody says, then they're charging these extremely high rates, like 10-15%, just for overnight. Borrow $10 billion and then pay 10% on that. Okay, so most people don't even know, and on the surface everything looks fine. But what happens is, just like in 2008, when they start collapsing, some of y'all are not gonna get your money back. Companies are already shutting down, liquidated. These strikes right now, very suspicious with GM here in Detroit and other places. That's very suspicious at a time like this. Unions in cahoots maybe with the employers. Because why would they strike at a time like this? They must not know what's going on behind the scenes. This is a very unstable time. So the value of the dollar might also go down who knows how far. And so being prepared for this is a matter of, if you look at thousands of years what have happened, every fiat currency has experienced this. So gold, maybe cryptocurrencies. I would diversify my finances. Because right now it's not looking good. Same thing we had 2008. We got negative yields on bonds and treasuries, and so the government can't really promise you anything. The dollar is being devalued every minute, so it's important to understand that, so that you can diversify. If you just got money in the bank, that might not be so good, especially if you can't get it back, right? If you got it in crypto, then that's going to maintain its value. Matter of fact, it might even shoot up. I've watched it since the beginning. Otherwise, the art of war tells you to be planned, be prepared for danger. That's one of the greatest things. Adaptations, you have to adapt. So what is the battleground? The battleground is making profits off of your money, right? So if you got money to invest, then you want to invest it in things that will hold during this recession that looks like is right around the corner. Gold is the only thing that's ever retained its value for thousands of years. No fiat currency has ever lasted forever. And they all end the same way. Just like Nostradamus said, a loaf of bread is going to be like, $100. This has happened before in the past, right? And but gold, the thing is, it's heavy. You can put it maybe in safe deposit. How much gold you can put maybe in safe deposit? That's critical. Cryptocurrencies is good. I can't promise what's going to happen with the internet, but at this time the blockchain looks very effective. Can't be hacked, at least not for another 10, 15, 20 years maybe. I don't know. Everything's changing so fast. But that's pretty good, because then you can leave, you can go anywhere, you can get it from anywhere, and you can move it around, and you don't have to carry it with you. But a lot of people don't understand the crypto. Like Bitcoin, it's up and down every day. So it's like the stock market on steroids. So if you understand that, you watch it. If it gets volatile, goes up and down. Of course, if it goes way down, you want to buy something, right? But if it starts to go up, you don't want to get too scared unless you really plan on investing more, which you should have done already. And I've been there too. But That's also a good investment. That at this time, I think, when it's time to diversify, because the dollar is looking very unstable. So when these banks go to the repo market, when they go to the discount window and other banks find out about that, then they know that that's not a healthy bank, right? They're not very solvent, so they're not going to loan them money anymore unless it's at an extremely high rate. And then a lot of them are doing that lately, and that's a signal for us that they know that that it's not stable. Things are not stable right now, right? And they're not. And it's the same thing that happened in '08. It's the same thing that happened during the Great Depression. So right now we're going into what I would call heavy ground, which is one of the 9 grounds in chapter 11. On heavy ground, plunder, stock up on supplies. You need to be liquid. You don't need all your stuff tied up where you can't get it. You don't need to be stretching it thin. You need to be liquidating some stuff so you can have liquid, because that's what you need at a time when it's total chaos. You're going to need to be liquid so that you can maybe live off that, something that will maintain its value. Another good idea is to not have all your money in a bank that's affiliated with one of these super large banks connected to the central banks, because those are the ones that are gonna fold. You want to be at a local bank. You got a few thousand, you got 10, 20,000, you have even millions. I would spread it around. I wouldn't put it all, because when the big banks fold, you're not getting that money back. So most people will go with the bigger banks that are affiliated with the bigger banks, but it's still insured up to $200,000 at a local bank. So that's a key thing. So when they go belly up, you'll still be all right. So that goes back to victory without battle, right? It'll be a battle, you lose that money, try to make it back, right? It'll be no battle if you have it in the local bank and you still maintain it when the big banks fold, right? That's seeing danger before it happens. If you see the subtle and notice the hidden, no one's going to call you clever, because you saw problems before they form. And that's the essence. Invincibility, defense. You're defending yourself against the disadvantages, which would be the collapse of our economy, right? That's a disadvantage. You don't want to get caught up in that. You want to be safe from that. You want to have shelter from that, right? That's defense, right? Invincibility, and unassailable strength. You have the strength to survive through that, and I plan to as well. This goes back to chapter 8, adaptability. Even if you know the lay of the land, if you don't know the arts of complete adaptivity, you won't be able to take advantage of it. So I'm going to talk more about this, The Art of War by Sun Tzu, translated by Thomas Cleary, and money, how it affects your money, how it has an impact. The markets, they affect you whether you like it or not. It's best to understand the game, understand the rules, so you can use them to your advantage. Each pound you feed off the enemy is worth 20 pounds you provide by yourself. Use the enemy to defeat the enemy, right? And the enemy in this case is not having the knowledge to even be able to make good decisions about money management, investment, and moving your money around.
So why is this happening? Why this, boom, bust, bear, bull? Why? Why is this maybe about to collapse? I hope it doesn't. I hope I'm wrong. Why is the Fed loaning $70 billion a night to the banks? Because they've been printing money for the last decades, really since the beginning, since they first formed the Federal Reserve back in 1913, which is when all the collapses and everything began, shortly after that. But this has been going on really, since ancient times. Even the Romans would dilute the gold. So this contraction, expansion of the market is really not like a fluke, like, they say it was because of job loss and this and that. Well, the job loss are more the result of what's really taking place behind the scenes. And so now, instead of, we have quantitative easing, which is they give money, because they want to help, lower interest rates and pump more money in. But the truth is, they've been trying to shrink their books, their balance for the longest, right? Because they know they've been printing so much money out, and then the value of the dollar keeps going down, And so this is just a crazy game. But this is the global currency. It's the world reserve, the dollar. So they maintain it. But quantitative easing is just cosmetic. They have to maintain these books. So the fact that they're giving it to the banks instead, is going on behind the scenes, shows that the economy is very unhealthy. First, they started going to the discount windows. That was supposed to be taboo, big deal. Then all the banks started doing it, I guess, because it's free money from the government. Why not? I'll take 75 billion. So this thing is about to swell and it's going to burst. So all of this applies to the art of war. Know your enemy, know yourself, know the time and place of battle. Where's the place? The place is the market, it's the money. Where is your money? Maneuvering armies. It's the 9 grounds. Chapter 7, armed struggle. Armed struggle is profitable and armed struggle is dangerous. For the skilled, it's profitable. For the unskilled, it's dangerous. Investing can be dangerous if you don't know enough about it. Right? It's not, you'd be better off just saving it in the bank. You collect that little interest, real estate as well. So you have to know the terrain, the ground, get the high ground, avoid the low ground, don't stay on bad ground. Let there be no fighting on the ground of dissolution. If you see a ground of contention, you can get it first. What's advantageous is to get there first. You can't fight over it. Either you have it first or you don't. Surround the ground, make plans, and so forth. So all of this thing with the market, there are different ways I'm going to go over how you can be careful and be prepared and be planned. And I'm going to try to as well, because it seems like the market is a little unhealthy and the banks are not solvent in the market. I'm Austin Christian with the Art of War Made Easy. Stick around, subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you soon.